I could tell you a whimsical tale that's probably very inaccurate. The Sensible Sociopath.
2, 3, 1, go.
Roma, the podcast is here!
It really never gets old.
Sorry about those jokes I said earlier about babies with both sets of genitals.
What does that even mean?
You know, I'm willing to risk my life for this podcast, Roma.
Ugh, that sounds insane.
I'm also willing to risk your life for this podcast.
Periods are not just for women.
And you'll get to red pill yourself if you choose to.
Come on if you're thirsty.
Take off their underwear and relax with their uncle.
It was kind of traumatizing.
White people are bad and do bad things.
How fast can I eat your ass?
I mean, you know, you look at me and you go, this is an international man.
My whole life is a sham.
And you can't get the white Oreos. That's racist.
I think I counted like 25 racially charged jokes.
White privilege allows me to turn off someone's headlights.
I was just being agreeable.
Roma, when was the last time you were agreeable?
It's been days.
Also, if you try to poop really hard, sometimes you'll come.
You would think that we'd have our shit together.
It's the enema for your face.
Yeah, I was gonna say cleaning's for women.
I'm not a lady, Roma.
Oh, this is so gay.
Let's try to be inclusive, Roma.
What does that even mean?
I know these things, Roma. I know many things. Why, hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 182 of the Sensible Sociopath podcast. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Isn't it 181 though?
It's 181.
Oh, sorry, yeah, I have 181 here, too. Yeah, sorry.
Wow.
Sorry,
It's
everybody.
181 too.
Yes,
Also.
exactly. The sequel. Or, sorry, the prequel. Wait.
Yeah,
I don't know.
182's prequel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. We're doing it like whatever movies do that. Terminator?
Star Wars.
There you go. That's a good... Thank you, Roma.
Yep.
Needed
no
a good
problem.
reference.
Chapter 4.
Yes. So we're live on a Friday night on YouTube. Please subscribe, lay a comment on us, shoot that share to all of your friends and neighbors, and give us a thumbs up. And also set your notifications so that every Friday night when we're live, you can join in on our chat by pressing your phone one way or the other, or doing whatever you have to do. A
Yeah.
little chat thing.
Yeah.
I'm Stephen Paul.
Hello.
That's Superfan Dan.
Woo!
He's the male. And then Roma is gender fluid.
Today.
Yeah. So Roma is our lovely producer in studio. Whoop,
Hi, guys.
Yay!
Yay.
So
So,
I'm
Needle pulling
obsessed.
thread?
What?
A needle pulling thread?
Yes, exactly.
I'm also obsessed, but I feel like we should do something first.
Okay. You want? I have some things I want to talk about.
Okay, well, I have something I want to do first.
Oh, okay. Oh no, Roma's gonna commit suicide on camera. Oh,
God.
oh.
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank
That'll
you.
shoot us through the roof.
Is this graham crackers?
Oh, you know it is.
It
you
looks like the
dick.
perfect size.
Why do you have to...
Thank
Dude,
you.
you just ruined everything.
Dude, that is unbelievable. I cannot believe you guessed that.
Is it a Amazon box full of graham crackers?
Wow.
You know, you just... God
Roma,
damn it.
if this is a hornet's nest.
It's bees.
Bees!
I think you got something right there.
Yeah.
No, that's your...
Oh, Jesus. Oh,
Careful.
it was alive. But
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Jesus.
Roma, what is in here? It won't stop
Well-
breathing heavily. Oh, that's me. There we go. Oh,
God, I
finally.
hope it wasn't like...
That's a hymen. For sure. Did you get me a hymen?
I've never seen someone struggle so much to open a box.
Roma, I'm 40. God, for God's sakes, I'm half in the grave.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
If anybody's doubting this how solid this box was closed, it won't even give me the present.
Okay, this is from Dan and I.
Okay. That is awesome.
It was Dan's
oh my
idea.
God. That is so good.
It was Dan's idea, and I made it happen.
Shammy Clamberg.
Oh, come on. Tell
My
tell
favorite,
everybody.
my favorite is what is it? Carmichael.
Yes.
That's
Carl
my
Michael
favorite.
Carmichael. Yeah. So this is from an episode a while back, and
It's been a lot of
It's
episodes.
from a
Yeah.
couple.
yeah, and so what I did was, you know, when you're a personality like mine and you're 40 years old, you collect a lot of nicknames.
Mhm.
Okay. People are always constantly saying to me, like, hey, Stephen Paul, aka Crash Vanders, or well, Sensock Steve first.
Yes.
But that's like my old moniker that I was going by in the first like 100 and
Yeah, but you're
something
still
episodes.
Sensock Steve.
Absolutely, yeah. But it's just, Sensock Steve doesn't really roll off the tongue.
No.
So Stephen Paul, hello, my name is Stephen Paul, a.k.a. Sensock Steve, a.k.a. Crash Vandersloot, which is a joke about Natalie Holloway.
Did you show really show like center it so
Oh,
they
sorry,
can like
yeah.
actually see what it is?
So it's a very long hello, my name is. and it says AKA before every single one.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Dan went through the episodes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And fucking sent me an entire list. So I hope he spelled them right because
No.
I did not spell check any of it.
I don't know how many people, well, Roma,
Yeah, Vandersloot,
If
I
you
wasn't sure.
Yeah. That was a joke on Johan Vandersloot.
Oh,
But also a Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
Because
That's what
my
I-
nickname was Crash.
Yeah.
And so, AKA Crash Vandersloot, AKA Kid Quickness, AKA Leslie Nielsen's Spirit Child. You see, there was a movie series, The Naked Gun,
Oh, yes.
and he was he was actually a dramatic actor prior to being,
I don't
comedy actor.
I don't think I'd be able to take him seriously.
oh, God. So, yeah. But that was like back in the 60s. I mean, like, way long
I
time
could see
ago.
him being like a method actor or something.
Yeah, he was good looking. and,
Stage.
yeah. Had a good voice.
Mm-hmm.
AKA Toucan Stan,
Mm-hmm.
which is a cereal joke. Plus, I like soda. AKA Little Bruschetta, because I like bruschetta. AKA Lion L. Richie. Now that's supposed to just be an L, but it's good.
Oh, I didn't even.
Yeah, yeah,
It's okay. It wasn't spelled out when you were
Yeah.
saying it.
yeah. No. You could have put closed captioning on though.
That's
Maybe.
true.
I don't
No, I don't know.
AKA John Bidet Ramsey, which is a joke about a girl who got murdered.
And toilets.
Also, I have a bidet. Yep. There's a lot of puns in here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Very
Seems
punny.
pud heavy. Okay. AKA Justin Bean Burp. Are you a bean lever?
No.
Bean? I don't know.
Bean lever.
Yeah. AKA Edward Sandwich Hands.
Yes.
Yeah, so he's just, walking around, getting sandwiches all over the place,
Mm-hmm.
popping people's couches and such.
A lot of mustard.
Mm-hmm. AKA Gabby Gandercrotch.
Apparently, you said it.
Yeah. AKA Neon Leon. AKA Shammy Clamberg. AKA Pickle Thumb Johnson. These are all my nicknames.
I like that one.
AKA David Copperfield. You see, he was involved in a sex scandal on a private island.
Oh.
AKA Carl Michael Carmichael.
That's my favorite.
AKA Kid Candelabra. AKA Victor von Stankenberry.
Skank.
Oh, Skankenberry. I'm sorry, yes. AKA
You don't even know your own nickname?
well, it's been a while, Roma, when you're Stankenberry as much as I do, sometimes your Skankenberry gets confused. AKA the last I am samurai, because you see, I'm Sam. What's his name?
Dr.
That
Seuss?
was you were
Penn.
talking
Sean Penn.
Sean Penn. Yeah.
Sean Penn played a retarded guy.
Yeah.
So it's the last I am samurai. AKA Iron Lung Larry. That's a callback to my Wu-Tang roots, and just the name Larry's pretty good. AKA Huff Glue and Stuff. Just fun to huff glue. AKA Chewy Ramone. That was actually like a nickname back when I was a kid.
Oh.
Yeah.
Chewy Ramone.
I think Mom still has the backpack that I drew a swoosh on it a Nike swoosh and the name Ramon.
Okay.
Because I had a bunch of Puerto Rican and Dominican friends. And
Where
they
did
just called me.
Chewy come from?
Chewy was, I can't remember. Can't remember why I got that one. I think it was, like there was just kids named Peanut and like Poppy and like Poppy and Peanut. Were they a peanut or a poppy? I don't know.
But they were Peanut and Poppy.
Exactly. Yeah. So I was Chewy. Okay. AKA Hank Hinkle. AKA Vic the Vapist. Vapist. Because I vape. AKA Rick the... No, I'm just kidding. You see what I did there, Dan?
Yeah.
I totally did.
This is a good one. AKA Dick Drapery. You see, I was putting up curtains at the time.
Okay. Did your dick get caught in them?
No, just, AKA the Oscar Wilde of podcasting
That's a good one.
because of my sexual tendencies.
That's right.
This is one of my favorites. AKA Jilly Bowl. It's a Billy Joel thing, right, guys?
Jesus. So dumb.
AKA Stevie Highballs. Although it's summer and
Not as high.
not quite as high as they 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm 40 now, so I mean, they just
Yeah, it's an instant inch drop.
exactly.
It's an inch every decade from here on out.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome. Have some swingers.
10 centimeters a year.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
AKA Huckleberry Spin. AKA the Sheriff of Webbing Cams. That is so awesome. I love
Those
it.
were all the ones that I could find. I'm sure that there's some others in there somewhere.
I just like how he's like, I did one episode. I'm like, you did like a month of episode at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah, it was definitely because I think people were like, "Oh, you should use the you should throw a few in."
Yeah.
People were
That was definitely popular.
requesting it. All right, perfect.
And plus,
Gotta put my tits away.
I figured you needed a show shirt.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Good.
Super good. Oh yeah, the best gift I've ever gotten, probably.
Ever? Wow.
Yeah, I think so.
What about you got Power Wheels one year?
That's true. But I flipped it over and it hit me in the face.
I don't think Power Wheels will ever be topped
That's true. I mean, that was the fucking raddest thing back then.
unless somebody got me a real car.
Yeah.
Even then, Power Wheels.
Yeah. I would still want it to
Power Wheel.
I would still want it to look like a Power Wheel,
Yeah.
but a real car.
Yeah.
No, thank you both very much. That's fucking so great.
Absolutely.
I
We would have had it last week, but we had needed time to get made. So
Mhm. No, I'm so guilty of not ever giving someone a present on time.
Yeah.
Seriously. You know how I knew it was 9/11, Roma?
Hmm.
Because our brother's birthday is September 10th and I was buying Lego for him on 9/11. Never forget, Roma.
Yep.
Never-
Shopco.
Which doesn't exist anymore.
I know, the one on Broadway.
Yeah. I got arrested there once.
You did?
Hmm.
For
For
what?
accidental shoplifting.
What do you mean?
Accidental.
I think I was stoned and we were like trying on hats and I was wearing hats all the time and I walked
Oh.
out of the store with a hat on and they like chased me out in the parking lot and they're like, "Hey, give us that hat or, whatever." And I was like, "Oh, sorry." Like, and we even went through the line and like bought stuff.
Yeah.
And like I tried to get back to them. They're like, "No, you got to come back in." And like, I was like, "Oh, okay." Like I felt innocent.
Mhm.
And then like, they totally like, I don't know
You're
if
a shoplifter.
yeah, I didn't go to jail,
Yeah.
but I did end up going to court and
Okay.
yeah, it was a
You're a
thing.
criminal.
Probably, yeah.
I mean, on my end it felt very like accidental and innocent. They did not take it that way.
Yeah.
No.
Well, and who goes to Shopco to steal stuff? It's
Well, and
such
it
a
was
depressing place.
shitty hat too. It wasn't even a good hat.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, I never knew that.
Hmm.
You got detained.
Yeah, like they had me in a room and
Yeah.
the cops showed up and I guess they wrote me a citation or I
Mhm.
don't even remember. I was stoned. I don't even remember what the fuck happened.
You know what's something funny is there is in Portland, there are now, or at least one, a camera that you have to look at to get the doors to open,
Really?
Oh.
to get into the gas station store, the convenience store.
Wow.
Yep.
I mean, it's smart, but I also don't like it.
Well, it's crazy overkill. But of course, there's so much crime because of all the progressive,
So if there's like
Shenanigans.
4
Yeah.
people going in at once, does every single person have to look up? Because like if the third person didn't look up and 2 people are walking up to the doors, just stay shut.
Dan, that's why you're on this show.
It's true.
We don't know.
That's true.
I'm sure that if one person looks up, 3 people could follow them in quickly.
Then I found.
Yeah.
The
I mean, how
flaw.
fast could it possibly close?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen the Star Trek Enterprise. They had advanced door technology.
Mm.
They did.
Mhm.
They did indeed.
But you had the little thingy too. Little yep. Yes, you did have that.
Did I say Trevin says hi?
Oh
Hello
no.
to Trevin,
What's up, T-Dog?
the T-Cass.
Yeah, what's up, T-Pain? What's up, T-Bone? What's up, Hambone? That doesn't work. Ham tea? It's like you steep it. The ham.
Like it's steak
Make some-
steak bone.
Delicious ham water.
Mm.
Warm ham.
Every
water.
Christmas. Just a hot glass of ham water.
I mean, it's technically soup.
Broth.
Broth.
yeah. But
Ham
there's
broth.
chunks, so it is. You're right, Roba.
Ham broth.
Mm-hmm. Thanks again, everybody. That's,
Yeah, of
that's
course.
so great. Yeah.
Of course.
I hope everybody makes T-shirts for their friends. Like that's so like to love someone enough to make them something that like represents,
Yeah.
something that's important or.
Well, yeah.
cool.
Dan's like, I have an idea, and then I was like, I'm on it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fucking so great. I so much appreciate it.
Yeah.
And yeah, the script, all the AKAs, so good.
I like the design. I was like, how am I gonna? Because at first I was like, well, I'll just do a list and like make every font different. And then I was like, no, it needs to be a name tag. Like, hello, my name is,
Absolutely.
and just make it really fucking. Because initially I was gonna make a regular sized one and
Mhm.
have the names like just trail off of it. And I'm
Yeah.
like, no, I'll just make it
Or-
giant.
You could put like Post-its or something. And it
Oh,
just,
that'd be funny, yeah.
Not that that's
Yeah.
better. This
No,
is awesome. This is so good.
I'm pretty proud of it.
Yeah. Well, and with something that's got that much busyness on this, because it's all about how much writing is on there, like how many on the list. So if you tried to get cute and like made it busy, it's just too busy. I bet
Well, that's the thing. I was gonna do different fonts, and I was like, that's too much.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
it'll make people have strokes if they
Yeah.
try to actually read it. But the thing is, it's pretty good that people probably just give up
Yeah.
halfway through.
Yeah.
I'll be like, "What are you looking at? I'm up here. I'm Dan. I'm up here.
I'm right there.
Dan."
Right there.
Do you want to hear a little story from today?
Sure.
So I went and got a haircut.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
I was,
looks good.
thank you. I was driving back, and well, first of all, I think that my stylist is a little
Okay.
Stylist.
no, maybe, but no, he's masculine and all that. I mean, he's skinny, so maybe he is.
Because we all know skinny men are
You
gay.
know how that is. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I'm way
Those-
gayer now than I
Those
was a year
fucking
ago.
skinny
Yeah.
guys.
So we just started talking, and he
Is that
said
butt sex?
no, we were talking about something, and he said something about
Space talking.
like World War II or something, and I said,
Okay.
oh yeah, I'm a big fan of history and blah blah blah. So we ended up talking, and I said, oh, blah blah blah, and he said communism, and I was like,
Uh-oh.
I was like, do you know how it is, what it is, whatever? Oh no, I guess somebody's name, and then he said, oh no, that's a Communist Party guy. But anyways, so I talked to him about Solzhenitsyn and the Gulag Archipelago, and he knew a lot of stuff. He knew about the signs that said "Don't eat your children."
Yeah. Yep.
In Holodomor, Ukraine. Just very knowledgeable about it.
Yeah.
It was a very good conversation.
Oh,
He's a
good.
little weird, but
Is he
so am I.
pro or anti or indifferent?
No, he's anti-fascist, anti-communist. He was in the military.
Oh, good.
Here.
Okay.
Yeah, but he's kind of like he's got tattoos and he's
Yeah.
kind of weird. And it was just cool to have like an intelligent conversation with
Sure.
someone that you totally get off guard.
Right.
Like you're not prepared for,
Well, and then you probably last person you were suspecting of.
Yeah, he's got the it's like Dolce and Gabbana pattern
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
on his like as tattoos.
Yes.
So like that for the type of guy he is. I don't know what that means.
That's not straight.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, yeah, probably not.
No. If you've got a designer
Yeah.
a designer
Sporting that
brand.
designer label.
Yeah,
that's
no,
all
there's
over
no
me.
way.
Like I said, it could probably, maybe he's just bi or trans or poly or whatever the word is now.
Or Metro, maybe.
Yeah, it could be.
Trevin says T-Bone is an old nickname. Haven't heard that in a whole while. In a while.
Trevin, aka T-Bone,
Margot
AKA
says, "Hey, sorry I'm late."
aka T-Box.
Mar-
Golf. It's a golf joke.
Oh, I'm gonna have to call him T-Box now.
Golf and vagina joke. All right.
Yeah, no, that's good. You were like, oh, you brought up communism. I'm like, I remember one day I was at work and they had somebody that was just coming through. They were not training, but like shadowing.
Okay.
Not necessarily for that position, but just in general.
Yeah.
And
Orienting or something.
kind of.
Yeah.
And I hear like from the next aisle over something about, like trying to like talk up communism. And, young guy, green hair, overweight, just,
Socialist.
Yeah. And my eyes rolled so hard, I know he heard it. Like, I was like, you fucking idiot. And thank God he didn't get hired on at that spot because I probably would have had to quit because
It's
I
like
just can't
those-
work with people like that.
Yeah.
It's like those Zen balls that you could just hear rolling around, and but it's Roma's eyes
Yeah.
just rolling around.
But it sounds like a handful of gravel. Yeah. Well, and and that's a symptom of like
Stupidity.
laziness or
Ignorance.
just not getting where you want in life.
Well, what's funny too is one of my coworkers was like, he was shadowing my coworker and he's like, yeah, we were like up on the floor, like delivering something. And like, I come back out and he's like sitting on the floor. And
What?
he's like, not a good look. Like,
Where you
don't,
Yeah.
where you work?
they were in a hallway and he
Yeah.
just like sat down on the floor.
Yeah.
And it's
you're
like,
you're supposed to be professional. Like, you know,
yeah, this
don't
isn't
take
like,
your shoes off.
this is
Please
not
tell
nap
me he-
time at high school.
Please
Yeah.
tell me you actually wore pants, like real pants.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. I didn't fucking
Yeah.
care
Didn't
enough to
blow the
look.
guy,
Yeah.
Dan.
Well, I mean, it's fair.
He had as soon as I saw the green hair and heard the word like communist, I was like,
zone-
and we're done.
Zoned right out.
You know what's never hurt anybody? Communism. Oh no, only 160 million people since 1900.
Now,
And
Trevin
70.
says, I won't allow you to call me T-Box.
oh, now,
All right.
now I have to.
Yeah,
Now I have to.
it doesn't stand for taint, but
You set yourself up, T-Man. Fucking
Yeah.
T-Box. Dude, why you got to do yourself like that? Now
Mhm.
it's T-Box.
um,
Yes, Totemus is here. Awesome.
ooh.
Challenge accepted.
Okay. So I was coming back from my haircut where I had this good conversation. But I did, when I was having the conversation, he kind of lost it towards the end. So he was like throwing in all these extra words that were like not really fitting. So I think he was trying to be smarter,
But,
or whatever,
yeah.
because we were having like, and I'm like, all right,
An
whatever.
intellectual conversation,
Yeah.
and he was just
Like, you don't have to try so hard, dude. It's cool.
It's like,
you know.
put the thesaurus away.
Yeah.
We're just,
I'm
we're just
already
talking.
impressed,
Yeah,
or,
yeah.
I am and would be if you didn't do this part,
Right.
So anyways, I'm driving back and there's a guy on a motorcycle, right?
Mhm.
And there's a car between us and it's like he's got the leather, like Harley biker dude,
Oh,
no
communist.
sleeves. Exactly. Yeah. Goddamn communists. So, and he's probably got to be at least like a hard 50.
Yeah.
Hard life 50.
okay.
I don't know this at the time, but I just see him and he's going down and I thought he was doing this. Like whoop, like taking his hands off the handlebars,
Like,
both,
Like when
like
people,
cutting through the air.
yeah, like when you got a really nice day and people were doing it out the
Yes,
car window.
Yes.
I've
And
totally
so-
done that.
And so I was like,
It's fun.
he's like, whoop, and then like put his hands back on, and then he'd be like, whoop. I don't know, I honestly, I thought, because we were going down the hill. We were going down the hill by Big Judd's.
Okay.
Okay,
So-
protest.
Yeah. So, well, I wasn't, But,
Yeah,
so
calm
people
down,
can't
Dan.
find me, Dan.
Yeah.
yeah.
Calm down, Dan.
Dan doesn't know the word for, or
He
something.
loves to name streets and like exact addresses.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we went from not telling what state we lived in to him being all like, oh yeah, 24 Southwest. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, that's where I am from Monday through Friday, 9 to 5.
Yeah, here, let me pin it for you
I
and
usually
put it on
have lunch
fucking
about
YouTube.
noon.
Yeah.
So
Calm down, Dan.
Noted.
So,
Fuck.
yeah, some notes for the episode. Well, it's not that bad, but yeah.
I think it's pretty bad.
All right. So, well, I threw Big Judd's in there. It's like if anybody really, yeah. But that's not where I live, dummies. So I travel far for my haircuts because I'm fancy.
Oh, okay. I pay a lot for my haircuts because I'm fancy. And
Yeah.
also haircuts are a lot.
And Roma goes to Big Judd's and meets someone there for her haircuts.
Big jugs. That's where I work.
Zing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doo-doo-ch. So the guy's doing this weird shit, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, he's not even like, you have to keep some on the accelerator or like your engine. I don't know. You've got to throw it in neutral something because like it'll bog down and they'll flip over the handlebars, right?
Not for him.
No, not for him. So I end up getting like up like right next to him and he's just like gacked out, like fucking meth out hard. Because he had kind of one of those full dresser Harleys, like an older one.
What do they call it? A touring.
Yes, yep, with the stereo built in.
Yep.
So I thought, oh, he's probably listening to music, and then I rolled down my window because I saw the guy and I rolled down I was like, I don't hear any music, so I rolled it down. He's not wearing earbuds.
Yeah.
He's just doing that.
He's
you
just
know?
fucking.
Yeah.
He's either high or he has a neurological condition.
Yes, that could have been it, but you probably shouldn't be wearing or riding a motorcycle if
Yeah.
that's the case.
Yes.
Then again, if you're on meth, you probably shouldn't either.
Todd
Yeah.
says, yeah, the coke will get you.
Yeah. Well, he looked more like a meth guy.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
probably meth.
Yeah, it wasn't super wasn't as fancy as us.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Yeah, so that was nice. That was today, right before the show. So I
Marco
thought
says maybe he was just enjoying life.
that's probably true. I think
Unlikely.
he was
Yeah, and I mean, he was
a non-traditional way for most.
Yeah, living his best life.
That's right. Oh, by the way, I'm gonna try whiskey
All right. You never
for
had
the
it
first
before?
time in a long time.
I was like, if you never had it. Well, now it's all watered down.
Yeah, but the smell,
Well, it's cheap whiskey, too.
great. Not bad.
Yeah, see?
A little sweet.
It is. It's a little bit on the sweet side,
Yeah.
but for the price, it's actually really good.
Yeah, I
And I've had whiskey drinkers that are like kind of snooty about
Mm-hmm.
it actually say that they appreciate it for what it is.
yeah, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. But then again, yeah, we have ice melting in it.
Steve was enjoying some McKenna.
That's right.
Yeah, the
Bourbon.
$13 a bottle
So
McKenna.
What's the
bottom
difference
shelf.
between bourbon and like other whiskeys?
So bourbon's made, I think, at least bourbon used to have to be made in, was it Kentucky or Tennessee? Kentucky.
Bourbon, I think is. Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
I don't know that it's regional now, though. I
Mhm.
feel like it might have changed, but it has something to do with the mash, I think. I think it's made
Okay.
a certain way, but also,
So-
it's been a minute.
Yeah, so it's probably like Bordeaux or Champagne or something where it's like, oh, Champagne region had these
Because, like, I don't think
qualities.
Europe can make bourbon.
Yeah.
I think they can make, like, Kentucky style bourbon.
Sure.
But, like, I don't think it would be actual bourbon. I'm going
Yeah.
to look it up
You,
because.
you probably have to if you're gonna like stamp it on there, just like Parmesan cheese or like.
Well, I don't think that Ireland does bourbon, but they definitely do whiskey.
Oh yeah.
There it is. Okay, for a whiskey to call itself bourbon, it's a mash. It's mash, the mixture of grains from which the product is distilled must contain at least 51% corn. Okay, that's what
Okay.
it was. But I also.
Well-
why is bourbon only made in Kentucky? Bourbon can be made outside of Kentucky, although the vast majority is made in the States for a few reasons. First, Kentucky has an ideal climate for aging bourbon. The warm summers and cold winters allow the bourbon to expand and contract in barrels, which contributes to its flavor profile.
Okay. And I'm sure it's the wood that's around there. They put the barrels, like whatever wood is the best for barrels there. That's what they use. And it's probably different in France or
Well, so
Italy.
this says, what are the 5 requirements for bourbon according to liquor.com? And it says
Liquor?
liquor.
Oh,
Official bourbon requirements made with, and this is what I was saying earlier, like you can make bourbon other places, but to like be official bourbon.
sure.
So made with at least 51% corn in the mash bill, aged in charred new oak barrels. So it's not,
Oak. Yeah.
yeah, but it's got to be new oak because that
Okay.
gives it like a flavor profile, I think.
Okay.
Made in the United States, distilled to a maximum of 160 proof, which is 80 ABV. What is that? Alcohol by volume.
Oh, okay.
Barreled at a maximum of 125 proof and bottled at a minimum of 80 proof and a maximum of 150 proof. So
Wow.
distilled versus barreled versus bottled.
I could not imagine 150 proof fucking whiskey.
Yeah.
Jesus
Oof.
Christ.
75%.
I mean, well, think about rum. Like rum's tamer than whiskey is. Like as far as flavor, and I mean, maybe
it's usually,
it's lighter. Let's say it's a
Ye-
lighter flavor.
yeah, I think it's more, I don't know. I'm not a rum
I think it's
drinker.
They make
sweeter.
it from like sugar
It's definitely
cane.
sweeter, yeah. And
Yeah.
it tends to have like spices in it and
Yeah.
stuff. It's probably have a
Vanilla,
lower
Yeah.
alcohol content, maybe.
And yeah, like Captain Morgan's is, obviously the generic version
Mhm.
of it. But man, and so I've had Bacardi 151 before,
Mhm.
and that shit is fucking jet fuel. Like,
Oh yeah.
I don't
Oh,
know
yeah.
if you guys have had
So
a
I don't
shot
think
of
Oh,
they
it.
yeah.
even I don't think they even sell it here anymore.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's not a thing anymore.
Wow.
Todd says all bourbon is whiskey, not all whiskey is bourbon. Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, and Scotch too. Like
Yeah,
I know
Scotch
Scotch.
whiskey.
Scotch is smoked.
Yeah. Yep. And
Scotch
it tastes
is-
like
Yucky.
it tastes like Scotch Guard. Honestly, like what you spray on the couch.
I had a friend of mine that was really into Scotch. Her and her boyfriend were into Scotch, and so she took me to was it Chandler's, and we
Yeah,
did like
Chandler's,
a
yeah.
Scotch tasting,
Mhm.
and one of them literally just there's different kinds. I don't know a lot about Scotch, but anyways, one of them literally tastes like Sharpies. It
Oof.
smells. It tastes like a Sharpie smells, and she fucking loved it. And it
Yeah.
has something to do with it's like moss because they use like moss oak
Really?
or something. And like,
Hmm.
yeah, it's weird. But she really liked that flavor profile.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously there's all different kinds, but
Well, and when I was a binge drinker in my 20s, Scotch was a good way for me to not drink because I'd like or not overdrink because
Yeah.
I'd like pour and drink some and I'd be like, ugh, never
Yeah.
mind.
yeah.
One's
I'm-
enough.
I'm good. I'm good.
Exactly. You just
I'm
tap
good.
out.
Margot says, I did Scotch tasting once. No likey.
Yeah. I don't think I would ever. I mean, I guess I would go with someone who knew about shit. Maybe.
I feel like if I was rich and trying to be bougie, I'd drink Scotch. But in
Yeah.
general,
I would definitely have a good setup that
Mhm.
looked like I drank Scotch. I
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
pour a little out every day.
You just have like cigars
Drink-
and Scotch.
Drink Coke Zero. Yeah,
Mhm.
throw the cigars. So I would fucking smoke cigars. They're disgusting.
They're
smell
not
like
great.
shit.
I mean, I puffing on them sometimes isn't,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, well, I like the nicotine. I like the smoke. I just don't like the smell of a cigar and cigar smoke. And like people who smoke them inside, I'm like, you're a fucking animal.
Margot says in Scotland they drink Scotch with 7-Up.
Yeah, I would see that.
Scotch and soda.
Yeah,
Yeah, Scotch and soda, 7 and 7.
I had a tequila with 7-Up or whatever,
Okay.
lemon lime, and it was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I had a little bit of lime, that shaker of lime that I have.
The true lime.
Yes, true lime. Yep.
Yeah.
But not bad. Blended well together. I guess.
hmm
Better than like a rum and Coke. I poured one of those the other day and I was like, I dumped it out. I was like, this is bullshit. I can't. Do it. Seriously. I'm like, I just ruined my
this.
soda.
Yeah.
Fact.
Yeah. So, Dan,
Yes, Steve.
what's the name of the game?
The name of the game is not losing your mind.
Absolutely. It's Dan's a creep.
Oh, okay.
Apparently.
Mm-hmm. So, Rome and I, prior to the show, as we do, we're having a conversation. And it's a conversation that's a little kind of puts you on edge.
Right.
What was it, Roma? What were we talking about?
We were talking about like demonic possession, exorcisms, exorcists, like
Yeah.
scary stuff,
how
right?
we grew up Catholic and how
Mhm.
like you can't control the things, and that's why it's scary to me.
Right. So I just want to say real quick, and I've said this on the show before, but aliens freak me out way fucking more than demons do.
Really?
Because you have no repercussions, no recourse against aliens. Whereas if you have a demonic infestation or possession, you can call in a priest and you have a fighting chance. With aliens, no fucking buddy can help you.
All right.
Nobody. You are fucked.
So do you ever like sit there like at night and go fuck? Like I mean, do you ever have like that feeling of like what if or
I get
something?
abducted.
Yeah.
So I've had nightmares about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Not vivid enough that I think that I actually was. Like
Was
it's
your
not
butt hurt after?
No more than usual.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yes, but no.
Just the average amount of hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, they like, it's intriguing to me. Like, so I was talking to Kat, and I think she was sending me like an article, or I was sending her an article about like, the government, saying like aliens exist, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, fuck, will they just like fucking come forward already? Like the aliens themselves. And I'm like, oh God, no, I don't want anything to do with that.
Yeah.
I don't want fucking aliens here. I will deal with demons all day long. I do not want, nobody can help you. I mean, maybe Jesus could probably help you,
Well, yeah.
but like there's no earthly man that could help you against aliens.
Well, I disagree because Will Smith has a documentary called Welcome to Earth, which is his line from the Independence Day movie when he punched the alien in the face in the desert and then carried him back.
I've never seen that.
Yeah.
What?
But,
Yeah, I've seen parts of it. It was on TV like every half an hour, but
yeah, I was like, first of all, that line is Welcome to Earth.
Yeah, it's true.
They spelled it wrong
Oh.
on the cover. I think it's on Hulu.
ERFF.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Welcome to Earth.
Yeah. So we're having this discussion, and obviously when we're talking about like things that are scary, there's a little bit of like tension. Rob was telling me about like the show that she watched that was really cool about, and it's like the show that I watched that scared the shit out of me.
yeah.
Because people are telling these real stories and like they're so believable.
It's on Prime. It's called Legion of Exorcists, and it's supposedly a bunch of exorcists that sit in a room and tell war stories. About the times that they had to battle these demons and, save people from possession. So it's pretty interesting. It's entertaining for sure. So I'm telling him about that. And
so we're in the like dining area and so you can't see, and Roma's not facing towards,
I'm facing the hallway.
Yeah. We're facing each other and
Or I'm facing away from the hallway.
Yeah. Over her, kind of to the side of her, I don't see anyone. I see a shadow, like a hand or something, just swing away. And we're talking about demonic possession. We're completely alone.
Right.
There's not a lot of light, because it's kind of in a dark part of the house. And I go, what the fuck? And Roma, because I did that, because she saw my face, because I'm a trauma survivor.
You're like, Jesus,
Yeah.
like.
And so then Roma turns even scarier than me, because at least I knew what I was scared of, which was a shadow. And then Dan comes strolling in.
I turn around and Dan's like 2 feet away from me.
Yes.
So I turn around. I mean, because he's completely silent. I mean, he crept into there like fucking Nosferatu. Like he slid down.
That was it.
He like hovered down the hallway into the room. I mean, he couldn't have been any more quiet.
Yeah.
And we were quiet.
Yeah. And the door's hard to open, so it makes a popping noise when you
But I had left it cracked because yes, normally I don't.
All right, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I'm sure he closed it very quietly.
He didn't announce himself.
You guys were talking. I was trying to be
Dan, you're a
considerate.
fucking asshole.
I'm a creep. I'm an
Yeah.
asshole. It's just what it is.
But I turned around and I just see his face emerging from the darkness of this hallway. And like, I was like, "Bah!"
Remember The Exorcist when they have those like flashing
Yes.
nightmares and you just see that face?
Yes.
That's Dan.
Yeah. Literally
Yeah.
Dan.
He's the
I
guy
have
with the black turtleneck on that did that face.
I have a cool story. So when I was young, I would say probably in the like 10-ish range, I'm sleeping and I have this dream. And it's interesting because I remember all this year, 30 years later, it's dark in my dream. And I just remember it being blackness, and out of the blackness comes, I might have told this on the show before, out of the blackness comes a face, and it looks like one of those like Tibetan masks. I don't know that they're demons, but like they kind of had like the big teeth.
Yeah.
And it was red.
Like tusks.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
tusks coming out of the face, which I had
Like
not
samurai
really
masks.
kind of, which I
Yeah.
had not been exposed to,
The
knowingly at least. I mean, maybe I saw something on TV,
Sure.
but like this is not part of my like my mind.
Yeah. Not
you know?
something you think about. Yeah.
No, this is not something that's in my
Conscious
whatever.
awareness. Yeah.
And out of the black, which is weird. Like I don't remember, you don't have dreams of blackness, but I remember it being black. So I remember it coming out of the black. It comes up in and it goes, rah. And I woke up and I sat up and I was scared and I forced myself to laugh because I felt like I kind of just like, I was like, you know, like,
Mm-hmm.
and in retrospect, and I even remember this at the time, maybe the next morning, I was like, I think that I instinctively knew that if I made light of the situation, whatever it was would move on. Not that I thought that it was something demonic or whatever,
Yeah.
but I also felt like it was kind of something that's searching. Like maybe I was in between a dream state and it saw an in, and it was like, let me see if I can fuck with this chick. And for some reason, I woke up and I was like, I need to not make a big deal out of this because if I wake up in a panic, this might progress.
Yeah.
It was really interesting. And like I said, and so I just want to say real quick, years later, I was at a tattoo parlor, many years later, you know,
TP.
15, whatever. I was an adult at this point. I'm in a tattoo parlor and there's one of those masks on the wall. And not that I hadn't been exposed to it since that time,
Yeah.
but I just looked at it and I was like, that reminds me of that dream. And yeah, so and I wake up and then I'm just like, that was fucking weird. Like,
Interesting.
yeah, it almost felt like a traveler
Yeah.
coming through and it's like, ooh, there's an opening.
Well, where I would say you might have seen it would be like a Chinese restaurant, maybe, because like they'll have those like those dogs or lions or
Sure.
goats or whatever.
And
they
I'm
are.
not
Both
saying
of
that
them.
I've never, but
Yeah.
in my conscious mind, I just don't feel like my subconscious while I was sleeping would make that
Yeah.
a thing,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, you know.
Because I remember at the time, I remember what it looked like, but I don't remember being like, oh, that looked like one of those masks
Yeah.
or that looked like, you know, I didn't make a correlation.
Yeah, between Asian art and
Yes.
your, Asian culture and
Mhm,
heritage.
mhm.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Hmm.
Dan, what about you? You ever have, some kind of premonition or an entity or something that's?
Dan used to have werewolves in his backyard.
Really?
I've had a few encounters.
I think you told me. I think you told that story on the
I
show.
did share that one on the show. Yeah.
Yeah. What about like demons or anything like that? Ghostly.
Well, since this is a particular topic, I will bring you.
Dan snuck up on me. Sorry.
So hold on. Todd says, what about demonically possessed aliens? So some people think that aliens actually, Christians specifically, tend to think that aliens are demonic. But continue, Dan.
So it's my buddy's 18th birthday, and we're in downtown Meridian, and his birthday is December 30th.
Oh, I've heard this. This is the mushroom story. Has he told
Yes.
this on the show?
No, I have not.
Okay.
I don't know.
So we take mushrooms because at the time it was kind of our rite of passage in our group where, somebody comes of age, we all just decide we're going to fucking do mushrooms for your
Okay.
18th birthday.
Sure.
Now, you guys waited though, right? Nobody did it before their 18th birthday.
Well,
Just
correct.
kidding. Go ahead.
Actually, yes.
Really?
Yes,
Oh,
we
that's
all
good.
waited till we were 18.
Yeah. Sign up for the military. Do
So
some mushrooms.
some of us were already, and so it was his indoctrination into becoming 18.
Okay.
And so we all got mushrooms. We took them.
So wait,
And,
hold on. If somebody was 18,
17. Oh.
well, if you were, say you were 19 and somebody turns 18 and one of you is 17, the 17-year-old doesn't get to take him?
Well, Dan only gave mushrooms to people he could have sex with.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Legally.
standards.
Yeah.
Got to have standards.
Exactly.
So
And he was super hot.
yeah, pock-faced and long hair, greasy.
Yeah.
I
That's what
was
I want to look at
super-
while I'm shrooming.
Shrooming.
Super hot.
Yeah.
Super hot, Dan.
Yeah.
So we decide that, because for some reason, every time I take mushrooms, I want to go for a walk. I like it.
Yeah.
I like to just go.
Oh, you
for a
have to.
walk.
You have to go outside.
Like a nature walk or
just
anywhere.
in a
walk
neighborhood.
somewhere.
It's got to have trees. There's got to be trees.
Oh, it's got to be nature somewhere.
Gotta watch them breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
A park is the best.
Yes.
Oh no, in the woods, just laying
yeah.
on the ground, watching the trees breathe is
With the
fantastic.
fire ants.
Yes, absolutely. They become part of you. You
Yeah.
know, you end up naming them.
Yeah. All the toxin that when they bite you, really increases
Honestly, the
effect.
bugs leave you alone when you're high as fuck.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Anyways.
So we're going on a walk. Me and my buddy Patrick, who had just turned 18, and my other buddy Parker, and we're all shrooming. And as we're walking through frozen, like very frozen downtown Meridian in the middle of the goddamn night.
What was the address, Dan?
I think
Just kidding. Please.
Broadway and Maine. So that was just because.
Mhm.
Just because, Roma.
Yeah. You asked for it, Roma.
So we're walking the back streets, and snow on the ground, fucking everything's frozen, and it felt very primal, like the whole area, just it like everything felt like primal, and like my buddy and I, who were taking our newly 18-year-old christened friend, it felt like we'd become werewolves, and we were about to take him out into the middle of nowhere in the fog and the frost, and just like fucking rip him apart and eat him.
The
Oh,
birthday boy?
wow.
Yeah, no, that's what it felt like. And
Why?
I don't know.
I've
It's
never
just-
had this experience. I
it-
have seen lizard people, but
it
Bath
was
salts.
it was just yeah, totally. It was
Jesus.
bath salts laced fucking
Ugh.
mushrooms. So we're just walking, and then in the middle of it, my buddy Parker just turns to us and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna walk back to the place we were at." And so I'm like, "Okay, well, Patrick, let's keep walking." And then we just keep walking, and we go by this street lamp, and it's foggy out. And then all of a sudden we just hear this noise. We hear feet crunching in the snow. And then this guy in a wheelchair being pushed by another guy wearing a hood comes up on us and looks very cold, but at the same time he looked incredibly happy and pleasant. And
He was just pushing an empty wheelchair?
no, there was a dude in the
Oh,
wheelchair,
okay.
and there was a guy who was pushing him,
Okay.
hooded. His face was covered except for like the lower part of his jaw, and he just starts talking to us. He's like, "Hey, how's it going?" And we're like, "Oh, it's going pretty good." And
You guys gonna eat that kid?
well, one of us had left, so
Oh,
it wouldn't have been. I wouldn't have been able to take him by myself.
Gotcha.
And we're like, "Oh, we're doing good, just having a good night." And he's like, "Oh, and that's great, hey, do you guys want to buy any pot?" And we're like, No, we're okay." And then he puts his hand on me and he's like, I meant weed though." And I'm like,
all right.
No,
Mhm.
no,
Oh.
we're still good.
Yeah.
I
We're
thought you
still
meant
good."
cooking utensils.
Yeah, yeah. Drugs? Yes.
and he's like, "Oh, all right, man. Well, you have a good night." And I like shook his hand, and his hand was fucking frozen cold. And
Yet
then,
sweaty.
no sweat.
But it'd be funny if it was.
And the guy behind
Damn.
him, he didn't say anything. He just kind of like,
Oh, the guy in the wheelchair was trying to sell you pot?
yeah,
You got to be specific about this because he's in a wheelchair
I'm trying to
dealing drugs on the street
Yeah, in the middle
Okay.
of the night.
All right.
December 30th.
to boys,
Correct.
young boys.
Um,
How old was that guy in the wheelchair?
He looked like he was in his 60s,
Okay.
maybe older.
Interesting.
He probably really needed that money, but continue.
Probably. And the guy who was pushing him, he like didn't look like he was all together. He kind of like leaning on the wheelchair as he was pushing the guy.
He's probably stoned as fuck.
And
Or he could have been a prostitute. Did he offer you a hand job after? 15
no,
bucks?
No, no
All right.
handies. No
Okay.
handies.
All
No
right.
even over the pants handy. So,
All right.
it wasn't that serious.
Must not have been. Oh, it was after Christmas. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's trying to bring in the new year.
Yeah.
So we continue walking, and he walks by us, and I noticed something about the guy who was pushing him, and it just looked like he was drooling the entire time, and but his face was covered, and it just kind of looked like he was just
Like a wet
salivating.
mouth?
Yeah.
Ugh.
And so we walk about 10 paces, and we pass under this street lamp, and then I like think about my friend who had just walked by us and went back to the place, and I'm like, we should probably go back and see whether or not he's okay. And we turn around, clear footprints in the snow, clear wheelchair tracks in the snow. We go past the street lamp about 5 feet, and all of the tracks disappear.
Whoa.
All of the tracks disappear. And then we keep going, and we're like, where the fuck were those guys? And then we turned around to go back the other way. Their fucking tracks were absolutely gone. Just
Wait, you guys
completely
turned
gone.
around?
Yeah, we
What?
we doubled back twice
Huh.
to just see because the tracks disappeared. And as dude's hand was way too fucking cold, and even for being on mushrooms, I've never hallucinated that fucking hard that I
Yeah.
manifested fucking people.
Humans, yeah.
Mhm.
And
So, tracks in the snow, they go past you or you go past them right that, and then the tracks just stop.
These tracks just stop after this ramp in hospital.
if that were the case, yes.
Yeah.
But no,
That's
they
fucking
just
crazy.
They just stopped.
See, and people don't think about that because I watch those survival shows and people are like, "Oh, there's rabbit," and like looking for tracks in the snow, and I'm like, "Oh my god, that's like that's when you want to hunt
Right.
because you can fucking see everywhere they go.
Right.
You know?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I mean, you could find a hole and just wait for them or whatever. You know,
Mhm.
smoke them out. Not the way that guy wanted to smoke you out, though.
Correct.
The ghost man.
Correct.
Yeah, that's really crazy. Which one did you say had a hood on?
The guy who was being the guy
pusher.
who was pushing.
Not
Yeah.
the drugs, but the
I
wheelchair.
was going to say, was he Death, do you think? Was he the Grim Reaper?
I don't know. He could have been, but I think that Death would have been a little bit more put together.
Well,
Yeah.
and it seems kind of like Master Blaster. You know, you've got the little guy that runs the show, and then you got the,
Yeah.
big,
Oh,
guy
yes.
that just breaks
The
things.
drooly guy, yeah.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? Dry hands, wet mouth.
Yeah,
Mm,
fucking
knows?
weirdest
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, that is crazy.
That is weird.
I can't say I've had conversations with people that I'm like, that's fucking weird. Like the way that they interact and like the vibe you get off them. Where I'm
Like
just like,
Men in Black?
kind of like you're like, is this person significant somehow? Like, is this something that I'm supposed
Oh, like
to?
Jesus?
Not like I thought they were religious or powerful or something, but it's just like they're so weird that you think they might be special.
Like maybe they're part of they were like specially programmed in the Matrix just for you.
Kind of. Like I had this one guy when I was working in the restaurant, and he was just drinking at the bar, and I came over, and I think I was getting a drink or something, and he started talking with me, and we're just chatting for a little while, and he's like, yeah, he's like, you got a good mind. He's like, how many tickets can you keep up in the head there, and blah blah blah. You know, he's just like talking to me like that, and I'm like, what is up? I'm like, why are you asking me how many tickets I can keep in my mind, and that kind of shit. So he could just be a weirdo, weirdo.
Probably just a
drunk.
weirdo.
Yeah,
But
'Cause-
still, it makes you think. You're like, that was fucking weird.
yeah. You don't want to have something significant happen and not appreciate it. I guess
Right.
is my
Correct.
and
Yeah.
and like you guys walking back and forth, going, what the fuck? Like we're just supposed to go check on our friend. He was dead, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nope,
Ripped
never,
apart by werewolves.
Yep.
never made
exactly.
it. Never made it.
All three of them got pulled abducted into a van by demon aliens
It's correct.
and raped. Sorry, guys.
It's what happens.
Ugh.
Doesn't that make you gay?
No, it doesn't.
No.
Well,
Not at
okay,
all.
okay, but I want you. Do you remember? Actually, I have to pee super bad,
Okay.
so I'm going to do that.
Okay.
And then, but we don't lose this train of thought because I love
Yeah.
this stuff, and I
Okay.
know some of this we've hashed out on the show before,
Mhm.
but also like it's been probably a year or two,
No,
and also like people love this stuff. So hold on.
absolutely.
Stalin?
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that
This stuff make you feel like a man.
I think Dan, I think what's the name of the game? I think that's my favorite thing now. I think that's going to be a
What's
very
the
strong
name of the fucking
Yeah.
game?
What's the name of the game? I just want to ask people that, and then they have to answer or not or whatever.
Name
and-
of the game's you're fucking weird.
Exactly. Yep. And so I think it's going to be a part of the show. What's the name of the game?
We have so many things about this show.
Yeah, they all come and go, and some stay and some don't.
It's true. It's a true
Yeah.
story.
But I think that's the important part about your podcast is to know what you should keep and what you should let go.
One of my favorite aspects about the show is the fact that people ask me, so what's the show about? And I'm like, you just gotta watch it.
Yeah.
Like it's
It's
about
everything and nothing.
so many things.
Yeah.
Like we've got comedy, we've got satire, we've got
Shirt buns.
debates, and making fun of Dan and fucking
Yeah. Roma getting drunk on camera.
Roma getting fucking sloppy on drunk, fucking on
Yeah.
camera. It's just kind of we got a little bit of everything.
Don't forget about Sweatcasts.
Sweatcast,
Food episodes.
We're the grapiest.
All dude, all nude.
Yeah,
exactly.
lock picking so that
Oh,
we
yeah.
can get into people's lockers.
Knife honing.
Oh yeah,
That was a good one.
That's crazy.
Yeah. No,
Sandwich fucking tangent
exactly.
all over the place. You just can never forget it at all.
Okay. But
It's fucking delicious.
Stevie sandwich hands.
I was gonna say last time we talked about this, I had to jog your memory, and I want to see if you remember any better because you were kind of on the spot. Not that you aren't now, but do you remember when you were a kid seeing a gremlin-y,
Mhm.
troll-like, witch-like creature in the house?
Yeah.
Recount that as best you can.
Yeah, so I know I remember this clearly.
Because at the time you were kind of like, oh, I forgot
well,
about that.
I guess I don't have a lot to add to it. Like it's like I know what I know, and I kind of just,
Sure.
So, when I was a kid, so I started off in the bedroom Roma eventually moved into because it was just me and her, and then we had a little brother who had to go into a room, and so me and him took Roma's room because it was the bigger one, and she took the smaller one, which was mine. So I don't know how long I'd been in that room, but that Joe at least had to be in there, if not Joe and Chris. But Chris came along when I was already
this
I
was
was older.
early on.
Yeah, or I was 10 when Chris was born. So I was probably about 7 or something when Joe was around. But so I had a bunk bed, and the bunk bed basically kind of like when I laid on my side, which I always sleep on my side, faced the doorway. And the doorway, and then there was the doorway that I was looking out, and then Roma's room was like kind of catty corner, and then there was
the bathroom directly across from you.
Correct. And then the
There's
hallway.
a little cul-de-sac at the end of the hallway, so it was like your room, my room, bathroom.
Yeah, and then a little closet right there with the Dungeons and Dragons game. And the Crossman pistol that was broken, the air pistol. I played with.
There was a shotgun in there too.
Yeah.
Fancy.
Yeah.
And there was a hamper there, and we used to hide in it when we played hide and go seek.
I don't remember the hamper, no. So
rattan. Continue.
So I don't remember exactly what it was, but there was always a little bit of ambient light that came, from like the living room, because that, by the cul-de-sac was
it came from the kitchen, because I always kept a light on.
Okay.
Under the countertop in the kitchen. So it was a small house.
Yeah,
so
very small.
It was like a 1950s cottagey kind of thing.
And a 2-bedroom house. And then our dad built on an addition.
Converted the garage into a master bedroom.
Awesome master with a freaking big hot tub and everything. Yeah,
big hot tub
badass.
and a
mirrors all around it so I could bang my mom, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
With a loft bed.
Yeah, exactly. So I remember that I was just laying there and looking, and I just see like something just kind of like slow. Oh, no. Sorry. It wasn't what I saw. I saw a hand like come, and it was over the side of the door. So the side of the door frame, and it was high up. Was. Yeah. And it was high up too. And I just remember it like wrapping around and then wrapping around again. And then I could see a nose like come over, and it was like, do you remember
Legend?
Yes, Legend. That's what it reminded me of. And I hadn't seen that movie at this point.
So yeah, Legend with there was
it was like a bog gremlin or some shit.
Yeah, well, there was like Satan or the devil or whoever, and then he had
Tim Curry.
Yeah, Tim Curry, and then he had like a sidekick that was, and he had a very elongated nose.
Yeah.
Witch nose.
Yes. So I saw that, and then I think I saw a second entity or whatever do the same thing. But trying to remember, I definitely remember the first part, and it didn't like, and I couldn't see because it was like against the light background.
Right.
So basically,
it was backlit.
It's like, basically it's like taking a picture of someone in front of a window.
Right.
And so
shadowy.
I think I just like shut my eyes because I'm fucking terrified. And so like that, I'm sitting there and I actually like got up. That's for some reason.
I remember you telling me you thought it was Dad playing a prank or something.
Yeah, I'm sure I did. I don't remember exactly what I remember, but yeah, that was it. Is I was like, I didn't know what the hell it was. And our dad used to do some shit like he would just scare us, like what Dan did. No, but no, he would like. So I remember one time I was in your old bedroom in my new bedroom. I think both of us were, and we had this big side yard, and the lights on and the shades up and everything, and he just comes in and does like this, like face right in the mirror, like right at the window, and it scared the shit out of me.
I don't remember
he loved
that.
It. He loved it. I mean,
dude, if I had kids, I would fuck with them so hard.
Yes, Yeah, if you ever saw our dad with like a dog, he's just like,
Yeah.
just making him like, like in a very
Neurotic.
fun kind of
Yeah.
way. But it's, that's the kind of guy he was. And,
Yeah.
and so,
Is it kind of like that guy who does a little clip of, sometimes when I need to come home and relax, I just hang out with my dog, and then
He's gonna
this
pet your
little-
dog.
This is like this little chihuahua, and like the entire time the chihuahua's like trying to fucking eat his hand.
Yeah.
It's like it's very relaxing.
yeah. He would do it with Roma's dog, who's like a little chihuahua. And
Yeah.
just like grab by the nose and just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They both loved it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's such a good game. Well, and what he used to do with me was, and he probably did with you too, is he would pick us up by the neck and like shake us.
Yeah, and you hold
Yeah.
his arms though.
Yeah. And
It wasn't violent.
No,
it was
no.
yeah.
and he'd be like, and then I think one of the favorite things he would say to me is, "I'm gonna break both your arms and both your legs." like he'd have to. He said the whole thing. He's like,
Yeah.
not like I'm gonna beat you or something.
Yeah.
It's I'm gonna break both your arms and both your legs.
Yeah, I don't know if that was as cute, but
Yeah, it was funny. I liked it.
Okay.
Because like he would shake me and say it.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
it
it's
was
not-
like
it's not
it,
bad.
Yeah.
it was one of those things. Like it was an endearing, like you're annoying the piss out of me, but
Yeah.
also I love you.
Yeah. And I like saying like that shit to kids. You
Yeah.
know, like oh, I'm gonna beat you so bad, or what? You can't beat kids anymore. I mean,
No,
you can,
No.
but
you can, but it's
Yeah.
frowned upon.
exactly.
You might get canceled.
Yeah, and so I recall, or it might have been a different night. Maybe I might have been too scared that night, but I think I like remember like going out of the room and I was looking in all the doorways to like see if anything like, so mom and dad's bedroom was past the kitchen and the living room, so I was like
Opposite
scared
side the
to
house.
go around the house because I thought something was going to be
So
there.
as I recall you telling it,
Mhm.
you thought it was dad. You assumed it was dad.
Mhm.
You get out of bed and you're like, I'm gonna catch him.
Yeah.
So you run into the opposite side of the house, and you said that you saw it go up the stairs to their loft, and then you get up there and they're fast asleep. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
That's what I recall.
I can't remember honestly. And and I think it is one of those like state dependent things,
Mhm.
like where certain things stand out to you, like the second thing. I don't know if I mentioned that the first time.
I've never heard that.
And I'm not sure if I was certain of it that time. I know this literally, it's like one of those things where you're like, no, this literally happened. Like,
Mhm.
of course, I don't know if it was a paranormal thing or if I was just fucking hallucinating or,
Dude,
I
I used
don't
to
know.
see weird shit when I was a kid, but you just assume that you're just a kid and you're stupid and you're hallucinating.
And remember when you were talking about seeing shit out of the corners of your eyes if you
Mhm.
don't like, I do that all the time. And now like I pay attention, it's everywhere.
Mhm.
Like I literally see movement all the time,
Mhm.
everywhere I go. It's probably
It's
because
me.
I sleep 4 to 6 hours. Yeah.
It's me.
Yeah. Dan creeping around.
Yeah, that's what the whole thing got started. Was
Mhm.
it the fact that it's me? I've been in.
hmm
I know where.
God damn it.
I've been there.
Yeah. So, Roman, we were going to keep going down this road. Was that where you wanted to go with it?
I mean, that was my next thought.
Yeah. I don't know. It is weird how I can remember certain, I mean, you remember shit about kind of like when you're like, oh, I saw that mask and it brought back that,
Mhm.
that memory.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if you try to force it, your brain's like,
No,
Yeah,
brain doesn't recognize that it's a thing. It's something that has to happen.
Kind of organically,
Absolutely.
yeah.
It's
it
something
like gets triggered.
you recall it, and then the more that you talk about it, it's kind of like the way that you actually continue to remember things.
Well, it's a like interesting point. So, in the late '90s, early 2000s, it was probably like
Is this a
2000
Limp Bizkit story again?
no
Roma?
2000, 2001, something like that. 2000, probably 99, 2000. Anyways, I used to listen to a podcast. It was called, and it wasn't a podcast at the time because we didn't have podcasts. It was internet radio, and it was called The Lou Gentili Show. And it was a Italian guy from Philadelphia, and he was a demonologist, and he was trained by Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Okay.
And so I used to listen to the show religiously, and he did it. It was kind of like Coast to Coast. He did it every night
Okay.
live. From there, I think he did it 11 to 1 a.m. Anyways, so fast forward to, whatever. And he ended up passing away from cancer. But I was online trying to find these shows.
Yeah.
can't find them fucking anywhere. Apparently they don't exist anymore. Website's down, all this shit. But I did find a podcast, which I actually listen to religiously now, where the guy that had the podcast had interviewed the producer of the Lou Gentili show.
Okay.
So anyways, I've listened to this show. It's kind of one of my comfort shows. I don't usually re-listen to podcasts, but for whatever reason, I think because it's nostalgic, because he's telling these stories and I'm like, I was there. Like, I remember this stuff.
Yeah.
But so I've listened to it a dozen times, like over the last couple of years. And the more that I listened to it, he would tell these details and it like wouldn't hit me at first. And then I would be like, oh, wait a minute. I do fucking remember that. I remember because like he was talking about how kind of early on in the game, he had put out a thing saying like, oh, you know, I'm looking for a producer. If you're interested, it's not really a paying job. Doesn't mean it couldn't be, you know, whatever.
It's like, I'll never be a producer.
Well, and so I listened to the show a couple times. I heard him say that. And I remember, and then all of a sudden it clicked. I'm like, I remember that night because I remember thinking like, I'm just a stupid kid, but man, would I love to do that. Plus he lived in Philadelphia, but I'm like, it'd be so fucking cool to be a producer for this
awesome.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like, there was a couple other things too, where I was like, I listened to it. It didn't register. And then I was like, oh my God, I do fucking remember that. I remember when this happened, you know, and it's just so crazy to hear somebody recount this time period. I actually called into a show one time.
Really?
Yeah, because he would do live calls, and I actually called into the show one time.
Interesting. There's got to be copies of that somewhere, you know.
You would think.
So find that producer and get a hold of him and
Yeah.
just say, hey,
well,
dude,
no,
do you
because
have...
on the show he said he tried to. So he, anyways,
Oh.
part of the show was he was talking about because Lou apparently kind of got in too deep and possibly was becoming possessed or whatever, because he was a investigator, and there was one place in particular he was investigating that was really heavy, possibly with the demonic. And anyways, just weirder and weirder shit was happening, and his producer eventually got out of it because he felt like this is not like they like paranormal stuff would happen around Lou, like creepy weird shit, and like yeah, he was just it's really good. But anyway, so he got out of it. He kind of like quit. He quit. And Lou was they just never talked again. And he said, so, you know, years later, he goes to try to find these shows and they're not anywhere.
Well, because like in 2004, Opie and Anthony, they, you know, which is one of my favorite radio shows. I mean, you could find all of them, but they were, you know, weren't like local. It was more. And I guess it's probably pretty hard to probably find the ones prior to that.
Well,
you know?
I even tried to go back to like the Wayback Machine and stuff, which I've never successfully done that. Has anybody ever successfully done that?
So you can see what it is, but you can't follow the links or do any of that stuff. So it's basically a snapshot of whatever
of
it was.
This website, yeah.
So, you know.
I've never successfully been able to find what I was looking for on that.
I have, but I guess I haven't ever really needed to look for something. It's just more like, you know, curiosity or whatever. You know, Pornhub, whatever.
I guess there are some. So one of the things that he did on the show was they ended up doing a Amityville Horror Week. And I remember when this happened. So at the time, Amityville Horror was like not really a thing anymore. Like, of course, everybody knew about it, but like the new movie hadn't been made. The first movie was made in the 70s. Like nobody was really talking about it. And the producer had ended up talking to somebody who said like, oh, the whole thing was a hoax. And then somebody else got in contact and said, hey, this guy that's saying it's a hoax, he actually was a believer. We were working on a project about Amityville Horror. He ended up getting let go for whatever reasons. And now he's fucking bitter and he's trying to discredit this film or whatever is being made. So anyway, he's talking to the people that are like, don't have this guy on your show. He's fucking, and then he was showing them paper trails like, hey, look at all these emails where like this guy's totally on board. He's 100%. And now all of a sudden he gets fired and he's like, it's all fake. I have proof, blah, blah, blah. So he's talking to this producer or whatever. And the producer's like, well, we know the Amityville Horror, the Lutzes, which is the family that moved in there. He's like, maybe we can get you an interview. And so anyways, John Lutz, who hadn't been in the spotlight in fucking 20 years, ends up doing an interview, and a lot of the family members do. And I remember this week because I was listening to the show at the time.
He was the possessed one, right? Or
Yes.
they were all kind of possessed,
Well,
weren't they?
I mean, the whole thing was crazy, but he was the one, he started like, he would just like kind of quit his job and like started like cutting firewood all
Yeah.
the time, and he
He
was
was
always
Ryan
cold.
Reynolds.
He was
Yeah,
Ryan
okay.
Reynolds, yes. And but anyways, they ended up doing a week of that. But like, so here I am
Mhm.
listening to this, and I'm like, oh my god, I remember all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like this was a thing. This actually really happened. Like, yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
Hey, Roma.
Yeah.
What's the name of the game?
Margot says the name of the game is Love and Appreciation.
Wrong, Margot. The name of the
Alright.
game is Automation.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about this.
All right. We've got 4 minutes.
Oh, then never mind. This is going to be a long conversation.
Mm.
We'll talk about automation on the next episode.
I love and hate it.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what you think, Roma.
Mhm.
See, now you ruined it because the name of the game, I think
You-
that's going to be. Oh, I was telling Dan that the name of the game's probably going to be a thing.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah, I like it. Because I said that. I was like, that's the name of the game. And I was like, that's a really good saying. I was like, that's like the best saying.
Yeah.
So that's my new thing. Name
we
of the
do
game.
like finger guns or
Name of the game. And I ask people what the name of the game is because I could tell them, but I'd rather ask.
right.
Because then that gives you guys an opportunity to over game my game.
Oh,
Name.
there you go.
You know what else brings a good opportunity, Steve? Finding yourself at thesensiblesociopathpodcast.com.
Where?
thesensiblesociopathpodcast.com. So good I had to say it twice.
Yeah, so nice.
And you can find your Charlie Cat mugs, your lovely Send socks for both hairy and non-hairy legs, all different kinds of heather-colored shirts.
Only Heather.
Only Heather.
I actually need that V-neck one.
It's cool. I like it. It's the only color that's available though.
And you can get the V-neck, the non-V-neck. Depends on what your preference is, because we're all about
Gay,
preferences
non-gay.
these days.
Roma, we might be able to work out a discount for you.
Ooh.
And
Slight.
make sure that you stock up on your Sensock hoodies before it starts to get cold out there. It's
Yeah.
still pretty damn hot, but you know what?
I don't know. The nights have been getting cooler.
It's been getting cooler in the
Yeah,
mornings.
you want to get that sweater before your casks of bourbon contract.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's the name
true.
of the game.
yeah.
And you just make sure that you find yourself at thesensiblesociopathpodcast.com, all one word. And where else can you find us, Steve?
Well, you can find us on Instagram at The Sensible Sociopath Podcast. You can check me out on Twitter at Stephen Paul Cast, Stephen with a PH. You can also find us on major podcasting platforms. We are available for download there. Once you check them out on Spotify. We make a little money off those, like half a cent. It's
Ooh.
nice.
Hey,
really
enough views.
piling up.
Yeah.
Yeah, those pennies are piling up.
Yeah.
If you download 2 episodes or listen to them. So help support the show by being passive and listening to us in your headphones all day while you do, boring things like we all do.
Yeah, like work.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't pay attention to your
Child
family.
rearing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Ignore that cunt wife. Oh, sorry. I won't talk about it. Yeah, and please subscribe to this channel. Check us out every Friday night. We're going to be live next Friday. Are you guys here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
should be.
I'm here.
Maybe. I don't know.
I'll be here.
I'll be
If
here.
nothing else, it'll
I think
just
I'll be here.
me.
I think the following Friday will not be here.
Okay. And that's okay.
We're going out for my boyfriend's birthday. We're going hot springing.
Ooh.
We got a private
Ooh.
tub.
Really?
Mhm.
Nice.
It's gonna be
Well,
awesome.
you'll have to let me know how that is because I'm always looking for good spots.
Yeah.
I want good, like,
Well, don't
Yeah.
tell me, because I'll give the address away.
exactly.
Yeah, you will. Jesus.
Yeah. Here's the GPS.
Yeah,
Coordinates.
I'll have the exact latitude and longitude and time of the global sun location.
Dan's just selling our secrets online, probably.
Find them on Patreon, people. Find
Hey.
them on Patreon.
I went to his barber. I was all methed up on a motorcycle, and I got some locks of his hair. I got his hair, man.
They
I
were
got his
wavy
hair.
like this.
Yeah. What's the name of the game? Got his hair. Yeah. So we all love you guys. We'll see you next week.
Have a
Bye,
good night, everybody.
Finger
Bye.
guns. Name of the game.
Best podcast in the world.
Name of the game.
The world would not be the same.
Name of the game.
I like it.
No wonder my anxiety's so high.
Few people laughed. Few people cried.
Oh, what's in the box?
Most people were silent.
And that was it. I
Now I am become death,
Sounds like a bad time.
the destroyer of worlds.
Yeah, so this doesn't seem like a great idea to me.
I suppose we all thought that, one way or another.
You didn't tell me any of that. That's crazy.
Well, Roma, when you're a hero, you don't tell everyone until you're on your podcast.
I'm about to hear some shit.
We all need to laugh.
I think just sitting down and, listening to
The Sensible Sociopath. This is the shit you're supposed to be watching.
Gen X is going to love it. Millennials are going to be like, I'm offended.
Also, my dog has a giant dick.
Oh my god, that's enormous.
I love it.
It's still a racist dog whistle.
Where you kind of have like a rotating cast of characters.
We're talking baby seals, eagles, wolves.
I'm just glad we're not going to have to eat with racism anymore.
It's worse than the butthole.
We're technically considered propaganda.
It is very contagious.
I think we really need to talk about environmentalism.
Like, are they studying pine cones?
Make yourself a nice stingray omelet. That's how Steve Irwin died. Cholesterol.
It's fucking delicious.
His father had ended up killing his mother and committing suicide.
In that order?
That's diabolical. I like it.
They had an apple gun where you could shoot Bigfoot.
Has she always been retarded?
I mean, she could have had a head injury.
You don't know anything about tartar sauce.
He had picked up a 400-pound statue and was like walking around with it.
Was the statue racist?
I'd like to think so.
It's like how they invented bacon and avocado to make a turkey sandwich tolerable.
I have a fear of fire.
Like a werewolf? Daniel, you've been our greatest viewer. Well, Daniel and Sarah and Katrina.
Daniel!